Hi everyone, I'm Alexis and welcome to Real Life. Today I'm very excited to introduce to you this handsome young gentleman with me here. He has traveled all over the world and spent many years in the hotel industry. He's no other than the handsome Mr. Alfred Portenschlager.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to have me on your program.
GM, thank you so much for being here. I know you're a very busy man because you're just fresh off the boat from which country this time?
Well, I just came from Shanghai about 4 months ago, so I'm fairly new to Cebu. However, I'm loving it already, so I feel at home.
Oh, that's great. Is it your first time in Cebu?
Not the first time in Cebu. Used to travel as a tourist before throughout the Philippines. However, I used to work in the Philippines about 20 years ago.
Which part of the Philippines?
I used to work in Manila back then with Mandarin Oriental Hotel. I think very famous established hotel here in the Philippines, and obviously, yes, that was my beginning, to get to know the Philippines first.
Hey, you know, the Mandarin Oriental is actually, you're right, it's one of the most popular hotels in the Philippines, and we stayed there a couple of times, and you know, it's just beautiful there, and the service is just outstanding. So I guess, you know, your many years of experience in the hotel industry has, you know, really done a lot of good things for you, aside from, you know, traveling. And speaking about traveling, please tell us about your travels, maybe across North America.
Well, let's start. When I started off in the hospitality industry, I originate from Austria in Europe, not to be confused with Australia.
It's very far away from each other.
However, it's just a different part of this world, different continent. Started off, as many of us do, going to the hospitality schooling, training. Obviously, we are not born just with certificates back in Europe, and we have to earn our positions. That means we have to actually work our way up through many, many different positions.
So which part of the hotel business did you start in?
I started actually off in the food and beverage business, which I always consider as one of the tough departments you can grow up to, because it is grinding work, hard work, 24 hours, go, go, go. However, it inspires you. It's an area where you can be creative, where I don't have necessarily to follow just procedures in life. And I think that's always great, because you can be yourself, and you can show where your talents are, and not just necessarily follow what other people are telling you what to do.
Of course. Like to practice your own initiative and decision making on the spot.
Absolutely.
So after food and beverage, where did you go next?
Well, when I started off in Europe, obviously, as many of us did, and one of the main decisions why I started in the hospitality industry, actually it's very simple. Austria is a notorious known country living off tourism. Tourism is a major income of our GOP, of our industry, and obviously it is quite natural for us to work in the hospitality industry, which made me to make a decision very early in my life. Actually, when I was about 13, 14 years, I knew what I wanted to do. And I obviously always had my valid reasons why. And I went to my parents and said, listen, I decided what I want in my life.
And this was at 14 years old?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow, that early.
And back then I said, but please be prepared that I will be traveling and I will be leaving the country. So obviously my enthusiasm to explore the world as a part of just working, I found this one as a wonderful opportunity. And that's how I started off. Yes, I did my hotel schooling, my hotel management school in Austria, completed it with diplomas, and then obviously we started to work. My first overseas assignments actually were in the beautiful Bahamas in the Caribbean.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Back in the early 70s, still many people stream. Beautiful beaches, blue waters, beautiful ladies on the beaches.
I bet you enjoyed that part the most.
Oh yes, absolutely. Who does not, right?
I don't. But I have my reasons too, GM.
That's fine.
Okay.
I think we value everybody's way of lifestyle.
Thank you for saying that. Look, this is such a sweetheart, GM. Okay, and GM, after the food and beverage, did you become GM right away?
No, it's everybody's dream actually to move up the ladder, but I think one has to understand that becoming a GM carries a big responsibility. A responsibility which is not just oriented to one particular department. Food and beverage, yes, it is maybe 50% of a hotel operation, but there's another 50% which is relating to, take it, rooms division, sales and marketing, human resources, finance.
Oh.
Everybody loves to talk about finance
Oh,
nowadays,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. It's a bloody topic, actually.
Absolutely. Besides, obviously, areas like technology nowadays, which plays a very important role in the hotel industry. So these are elements, obviously, we learn as we grow. And obviously, we also have the opportunity to work in these particular departments in order to be exposed, and obviously have the ability to also handle the technology and the human resources factor, because I think that human resources today possibly plays a much more important role than we like to think. People today are humans, but humans today, we cannot compare when we grew up. We were much more directed to do things. Today, people, they have a different philosophy about lifestyle. Their important thing sometimes is not necessarily work number one. However, work is important for them. So people today want to be guided. They want to be directed. Yet again, they still like to have their freedom. If it comes to in a working relationship with an employer. So we had to change over years, and we keep on adapting as we go, and obviously have to find many new ways how we deal and develop a generation which is very computer savvy, which is knowledgeable. They have a very broad base of knowledge. Internet makes it happen. They have knowledge which we didn't have when we grew up. We maybe read a newspaper. It was right or wrong. Today you have it on the spot. Within seconds you know what's going on in the world.
Exactly.
And our industry obviously works in the same direction.
Right. So it's very important, GM, to really, go with the time, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay,
don't you worry, guys, because when we come back, we're going to get to know more about our very dear GM of Waterfront, Mr. Alfred Portenschlager, right here on Real Life. So stick around for that.